Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're tackling a topic that is near and dear to almost every student's heart. We're talking about that trusty highlighter, and we're going to explore why science says it might actually be holding you back from the grades you deserve. Let's get right into it. And hey, if you're ready to really level up your study habits, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop Study Smart down in the comments to join the crew. So if you've spent even 5 minutes on Instagram or TikTok looking for study motivation, you've seen this. The whole StudyGram world, these perfect, colorful, aesthetic notes. And you can't deny it. They look amazing. It makes you feel so productive. But what does the actual science have to say about it? Let's start right there with that feeling. Why are we so drawn to making our notes look like a work of art? Well, the logic seems pretty solid on the surface. You hear it all the time from study gurus, right? If my notes looked this good, I'd actually want to study. The whole idea is that a beautiful, organized process must lead to better motivation and better learning. It feels like you're really getting stuff done. But what if that feeling is just a lie? And that brings us to what I call the highlighter lie. It's time to pull back the curtain and see what the research actually tells us. And here it is, the central conflict. On one hand, you have all the popular advice telling you to highlight, to use color codes, to make everything pop. And on the other hand, you have this landmark 2013 study from psychologist John Dunlosky and his team. They looked at decades of research, and their conclusion couldn't be more clear. Highlighting is a low-utility technique. In other words, it barely helps you learn or remember anything. So what are we saying here? I'll just put it bluntly. A lot of what you've probably been told about how to study effectively is just plain wrong. So why? If it doesn't work, why does it feel so good? Why do we keep doing it? Well, it comes down to a sneaky trick our brain plays on us called the illusion of competence. The illusion of competence is this false confidence you get when you mistake familiarity for actual knowledge. When you scan a page you've highlighted, all those bright colors make the words jump out. They feel familiar. And your brain says, oh yeah, I know this stuff, even when you don't. I mean, think about it. Being able to recognize the right answer when it's sitting right there on the page in front of you is a completely different skill from being able to pull that answer out of your own head during a high-pressure exam. Highlighting builds familiarity, but it doesn't build recall. And recall is what gets you the A. Okay, so if we're throwing out our highlighters, what do we replace them with? This is where we need to talk about the scientifically proven champion of study techniques, active recall. And you don't have to take my word for it. Let's look at this incredible 2008 study by psychologists Karpecki and Roediger. They designed a brilliant experiment to figure out what really makes information stick in our long-term memory. So here's the setup. They had students learn some Swahili words. Once a student got a word right, they were split up. The repeated study group just kept seeing that word over and over again, passively reviewing it. The repeated testing group, though, they stopped seeing the word. Instead, they were forced to try and remember it from scratch, over and over. A week goes by. They bring everybody back in for a final test. And the results? They weren't just a little different. They were absolutely mind-blowing. So check this out. The group that just kept rereading their notes, they only remembered about 35% of the words. But the active recall group, the ones who practiced pulling the information out of their memory, they remembered a staggering 80% of the material. Let that sink in. That's more than double the information. It's over 150% improvement. And the only thing they changed was forcing their brains to retrieve information instead of just passively looking at it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's great, but trying to remember stuff from a blank page feels so much harder than just rereading my pretty notes. And you know what? You're 100% right. It is harder. So why is that? Because that struggle is not a sign that you're failing. That feeling of difficulty is the feeling of learning happening in real time. Every time you have to work hard to remember something, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain that this information is important. You're literally building and strengthening the neural pathways to that memory. It's like lifting weights at the gym. If there's no struggle, there's no growth. So how do we actually do this? Let's stop talking theory and build your new, practical, high-retention routine. Here's a super simple 5-step plan. Step 1, put away your highlighters. Seriously, just for now, put them in a drawer. Step 2, read a section of your textbook or your notes, but just read it one time through to get the main ideas. Step 3, and this is the magic part, close the book, turn it over, and now, on a blank sheet of paper or just out loud, explain everything you can remember. Step 4, open the book back up and check how you did. What did you nail? What did you forget? And finally, step 5, repeat the process, but this time really focus on the stuff you missed. Look, I'm going to be real with you. This process is not going to feel as comfortable or as easy as just coloring in a book. It requires you to be focused. It takes real mental effort. But as we've just seen, the payoff isn't just a little bit better. It is scientifically proven to be dramatically, life-changingly better for remembering things long-term. So if this was helpful for you, do me a favor and share this with a friend, especially that one friend you know who is absolutely drowning in a sea of highlighters. And of course, make sure you're subscribed for more science-backed learning strategies just like this one. And please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Now that you know the science, what is the one study habit, the single thing that you're going to change first? Thanks so much for watching.